Good day, everybody. Hey, this is Chad, doing my reflection for digital painting for the month. Wanted to touch base on some things that I definitely learned and definitely found challenging for myself this month. I put a few things up on the screen just to be able to talk about, kind of where my mindset was at and kind of where I got a little bit lost on it. First of all, I want to say that I'm really proud of myself because I think I've grown so much from um, not even touching Photoshop or having anything to do with those type of programs before to kind of where I can get comfortable to a little bit understand what I need to do and how it works. So I'm going to pull up Photoshop here for one of the first things I started kind of way back when, and it was like a test story that I just didn't really understand, um, what or how to use half the tools that were in here. I understood I could just draw on my pad, trying to get some lines up. This is the biggest problem that I had right here was understanding the, kind of the layers and the filters. Um, you know, I think the biggest thing for me was I kind of had to break it down to almost, just like a fundamental point of view versus what I was trying to Google. The more I Googled, the more I got confused. The more I got confused, I was trying to find certain processes or certain paths to get things done, not realizing that it was just something simple as, creating a layer and drawing over that type of thing. Um, so I really stumbled in the beginning, and I think I realized why now. Kind of going from this what I kind of call crayons. I didn't understand the depths. I didn't understand what layer went where, and how to manipulate each one that was in it, and just again some of the things I ended up learning as I went along. But part of what I could, if anybody's watching this that's going to be starting, the biggest thing I could say is just get in it and play with it. Just start something and then manipulate around. I spent hours on hours on hours just playing with the brushes and understanding, what happens if I move this layer to that layer type of thing. And that's not something that's as common. Plus, I went out and spent, $300 on books just to be able to get more confused on reading versus me just spending a, cold afternoon here in New England just how do I play? How do I do? What do I do with this? How does this affect that? So going from kind of like what this scenario is to the top left part of the screen where we did the compositing and 1 and 2, what my vision was, and you can see kind of like how I evolved from just where I was on that where I just pulled up Photoshop and then to the um, the class that we did on this, and then to my final rendering on the right hand top. Uh, I think I'm proud of myself. I really am, because I can see myself where I went from this to, kind of, up here was a little bit more sloppy, but then again, understanding, the foreground, the midground, the background type of thing, and then, what this really conveys and has done for me. So that's kind of where I stumbled this month. I was really stressing real bad to say, hey, is this for me? Am I going to be able to get this? I didn't understand it. I did reach out to to the guys, and they definitely, walked me through some things that I just got caught up on. And that's the one thing that I could say that was happening is that I would get to a certain point, then I would get stuck because I didn't know how to get around it or through it. Um, so I think the things that I learned definitely from the Photoshop side is one, don't take it so seriously. Two, save, save, save. I didn't learn that enough either. So because I would get to a point, I would like, oh my God, I messed it all up, and then I'd have to start all the way back to a certain point because I didn't save it enough in order to start from where I would have messed it up. So that's something I learned. And then three, just try to have more fun with it and be more natural with it. So that's it for on the Photoshop side. The one things I definitely learned on that stemmed from not knowing the Photoshop well, not being able to manipulate what my mind could see and what I really wanted to do. So when we were looking at some of the principles on you know other things, it would get caught up that I couldn't get it out. It was kind of like it was stuck on, when they say, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue thing. Yeah, it was on the tip of my fingers. I could draw it, I could see what I wanted, but I couldn't manipulate it enough to convey exactly what I was thinking in my head. So as I grew along in understanding, how to manipulate those layers more and how to do certain things, it definitely came a lot easier for me. Um, so what I think that I'm definitely going to do, and somebody had said this earlier in one of the classes, is draw every day. And that's what I've been doing. So I'm kind of started a project that I have in my mind, and I can kind of talk to Pedro about it a lot too, and he was really excited about my idea. And I wanted to say that that is where I'm going to start, to be able to manipulate and play and draw and do what I need to do every day, so that way I get better, I get sharper, and I get cleaner, and I understand it, and I can do things a lot faster. So I'm kind of excited about that. I've been doing that all week long. And I can say, from the beginning of the week to where I am now, it's just kind of refining one thing after another and after another. I'm kind of, really excited to keep this little project, my own little side project, moving along. Um, so moving on to Nuke and Unity, I was kind of surprised of one thing is that it was really not as yeah, I don't know how to explain this. Maybe it was more not as Windows based or click based, whereas when you had to save the file, you had to string it all the way out. It was more what I call DOS based, but that may or may not be true. So I'm using my own language there on that. But I do understand, how it plays a whole part into what you want to be able to do and how you can look at things completely different. And I say that now because I went to see Maleficent 2 with the kids. And my mind was not watching the movie. My mind was looking for those layers and looking to see what was going on when it came to the environment and some of the process throughout the pipeline, which I found really interesting. So I was like, I hope it didn't spoil the process of what I want to do when I go to enjoy a movie versus me now going to look at a movie to say, okay, wait a minute, that's a layer, that's here, that's a group, that's a crowd, that's these type of things that we're all starting to learn, it was kind of cool. But I could definitely see things differently now when I watch a movie like that, especially. And if you guys haven't seen it, I'm not going to give those spoilers. But when they have the big fight around the castle, you can look and see down on the left hand side or down on the right hand side where they didn't spend that money to be able to make it as clear as it was or as sharp as they wanted, or put the animation for the characters and stuff. So I thought that was really cool that I got that, and I was telling the kids, look at that, look at this, and they're like, "Shut up, Dad! You're ruining the movie." So anyway, so get back to recapping this month. Stressful, yes. Fun and exciting in a really good way, absolutely. Do I feel that myself that I've grown from where we started to where we are now? Absolutely. Do I understand it a little bit better? Yep. Am I still considering to grow and to learn more? Absolutely. Um, so I think I've got a little bit more of a foundation than I had a couple months ago. Definitely understanding a little bit better. But I'm excited to be able to do more, and now that I can see that I know how to use it, I'm kind of doing a lot of little things that I want to be able to try. One on my own project, and two, just again keep it going, keep it trying. But when you look at yourself from kind of the stuff that we did with Nuke and Unity, I'm kind of excited to be able to see how you can take things and just put them into the real world with the artwork that you got, or to remanipulate things. One of the videos that we ended up seeing in one of our previous assignments had that the guy walking down the alleyway, and then what was real and what wasn't real. The double bike in the background, the graphics on the wall. To me, that was like absolutely amazing and mind blowing to see that. You see something and you take it for granted that that's kind of real or there, and then also when it starts to be stripped away, you're like, oh, that's really cool. So that's pretty much all I got to say. I do want to make a shout out to both Paul and Pedro for the additional support. I think they did a phenomenal job trying to keep me not going derails. So I definitely want to say thank you guys. I really, really appreciate the time. And I look forward to continuing to grow and keep you guys close to my heart and my chest on what I'm doing for the future. So thank you.